Hey, what's up guys? So in this video I want to cover how to get your CDL. This is going to be part of a multi-part series because I don't feel like I can cover the whole subject in one video without it being too long, and I want to deliver the best content. So I guess in this video I'm going to start with my story of how I got my CDL. That way, because I have a feeling it adheres to a lot of people out there. For some people, very easy to get into the industry, but I have a feeling for the majority of us, and of course I can only speak to myself, but for the majority of us, the barrier to entry could be pretty tough. So I guess I'll give you a little history of me. In my past, I've got a criminal record. I also have a DUI back in 2017, as well as a careless driving in 2016. So in 2017, I started becoming interested in trucking. I knew that that's what I was wanting to do. However, I didn't know how to get into the industry. So what I did is I did a simple Google search, trucking companies that are hiring. And of course, I got all the mega carriers, your Swifts, your Schneider's, Prime, companies like that. So I manually applied to each one of those companies, and I got letters, I got phone calls back after they ran my record and all that stuff, saying that they couldn't accept me at that time. I got discouraged, and I gave up pretty easily. But what that did is when I called those companies and I applied at those companies, what it did is it let me know why I couldn't get into the field. Obviously, the reasons were my history, but it also told me that I needed to have 10 years of clean, no criminal history, 10 years past the DUI. Some of them are 7 years past the DUI, 7 years no criminal history. I think the real big one was the careless driving, the recent careless driving, only being a year later, or prior to the time when I was applying. So I knew I needed some work done. I kind of put it at the back plate, and I continued doing my construction job, doing construction every day, working out in the sun, climbing ladders. It sucked. Recently, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was with my job for numerous years. I think it was over 3 years, and it was right at 3 years. And I just got tired of people making money off my back. Busting my ass day in and day out, and not really being able to put any money away or save or get ahead. And I feel like a lot of us are in that situation. So at that time, when the pandemic hit, my boss furloughed me. So I was getting the unemployment benefits and whatnot. What would you have? So I was furloughed for like a month, and then I go back to work. And after that, I there was no work. No one was wanting to work at the time. No one was wanting to go out there and be next to each other. The convenience stores weren't open. You guys went through the pandemic just like I did. So to cut to the chase here, I used my time of unemployment. I went back to work, and then I went back on unemployment afterwards. So I was on unemployment for about 3 months until I ended up going to a CDL school. But during that time, I was using my unemployment time to actually research these companies, and I got reinterested back into trucking. I'm like, hey, it's 2020. The last time I applied was in 2017. Let's give this another go. So I did the same thing I did last time, and I got denied from every single company I applied to. There's this great website. It's called what's it called? truckandtruth.com. Okay, I definitely recommend that. It helped me out tremendously, as far as finding the carriers that I can apply to, things of that nature. I'm going to cover that website in another video in detail, but that website, I highly recommend it, and I'll also put the link down in the description for you. So yeah, so I was applying on there, it got denied. Then I found a company, TransAm Transport. Well, I applied to them, and their sister company, it's basically a recruiting company, calls me up and says, hey, you know, everything checks out, we'd love to have you, and you know, when can we get you on board? We need you to do the permit, get your permit before you can come to school, and they'll pay for my schooling and all that stuff. I'm like, oh wow, okay. And all I gotta do, you know, they pay for you, they'll pay for me to get my CDL for a year, to get my CDL, and then all I gotta do is work for them for a year. So I was like, all right, cool. So that was with Driver Solutions. So I do all the legwork, I get my permit prior to me going, and then I go to Driver Solutions. Now, you know, there's so many horror stories about companies saying that they'll hire you, and then once you get to their orientation, what they do is that's when they actually run your background check. You know, they're not going to pay to run everybody's background check prior to them getting to the orientation. So I get down to the Driver Solutions School where they train you to get your CDL, and I'm finding out all this horror stories, you know, from other students and reviews and stuff. Oh, your first week, that's when they do all the kicking. You know, by Thursday, you know, you're gonna know. And then so I'm in school, I'm doing it. It's Wednesday, and I made it this far. Of course, it's at the top of my head, you know, because it's surreal that after all these companies I applied to, TransAm Transport's the one that says yes to me. So Thursday comes around, I'm still learning how to do my pre-trip on the trucks and stuff like that, and one of the instructor comes out, says, hey, we need to talk to you, and then that was it. You know, they let me go. They said TransAm Transport did my background check, and they weren't going to be able to keep me on board. Hence, I need to leave school because they're not going to pay for it. So basically, what happened was I was straight up lied to. I was straight up lied to, but from the recruiters, and they will do that to you guys. It gets frustrating because you're going to get so many no's before you get that yes, and even when you get that yes, it still doesn't mean yes. So yeah, I had a kick in the balls with that, let's just say. So I go home and I'm all upset, and I dwell on it for about a month, and then I find out that there's a program, since I am unemployed, that my city was doing, where it's basically a grant, and it's basically a re-entry into the workforce kind of program. They'll pay for up to $5,000 as long as you know, jump through all their hoops and you meet their qualifications, which I did, and they'll pay for up to $5,000 for you to get your CDL. So I ended up going that route. I got approved. I got lucky, I will tell you that, but it's, you know, it's not 100% luck, guys. You know, I was obsessed. You have to be obsessed, especially if you got a checkered past. This is something you're not going to just be able to pick up the phone and call one of these carriers and they're going to say, come on board. You're really going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to fight to get your CDL, and you're going to have to fight to have a carrier accept you and bring you on board. So that's what happened with me. I got the grant. I went to Tampa Truck Driving School. Great school. I highly recommend Tampa Truck Driving School. It was by far better than the school I went to in Lakeland. I can't remember the name of the school I went to in Lakeland, you know, and at this point, it's really irrelevant. But yeah, Tampa Truck Driving School, guys. If you guys are in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area, highly recommend that school. Great instructors, great school. So I go there, breeze right through it. My CDL's paid for, so I don't have to worry about being obligated to one trucking company for a year. You know, if I don't like this trucking company I'm currently with, I can bounce, and that's that easy. You know, I do recommend that you stay with them for at least 6 months, but you know, at least I have that option. So yeah, in a nutshell, I jumped through a lot of hurdles. I had a lot of no's before I got that yes, but I didn't give up on it. And yeah, I just hope this story reaches out to somebody and can relate to somebody out there that's wanting to get into the industry, that thinks it's impossible. You know, the worst thing you can do is the worst thing you guys can do is give yourself an excuse saying that, oh well, I got this DUI, you know, nobody's gonna take me on. Because I've been guilty of it myself. You know, I got a felony, no one's gonna take me on. I got a DUI, no one's definitely gonna take me on with a DUI. So, you know, you owe it to yourself to try, and if I can, I'm gonna help you get there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.